Okay, today we're going to be doing WWE Imperialism, and if you don't know what that is, we're going to be taking where each superstar is built from and putting each state against each other until it's one superstar left. First off, shout out to the Draft Bus who did a WWE 2K22 version of this, Frosty who does NBA and UFC versions of this, and Bordeaux who did a college football version of this. So if y'all want to see more imperialism videos like this, check out their channels. They got great content. Okay, some states were easy to pick superstars for because they'd only have one superstar. But some superstars have multiple superstars. So what y'all seeing right now is a play-in. Superstars are going to be fighting in multi-man matches, and whoever wins the match will represent the state they fight for. And this whole video, everything is base game. I didn't want to change up anything too much. The only thing that's different is I took all the paybacks off everybody. Everybody's their regular overall and everything though. So we got that. And the computer's playing, and the only wheel I spun was for the match type or if somebody had a buy. And this match right here is for California, and Rey Mysterio had a buy. So whoever wins this will face him in the next match. Jimmy Uso picks up the win, so next match is going to be Jimmy Uso versus Rey Mysterio. And it's pretty fitting that this match takes place in California to see who will represent California. Coming out first here, we have Jimmy Uso. And here comes Rey Mysterio. He didn't have to fight in that last match, so maybe that gives him the advantage going into this one. And forget everything I just said, because Jimmy Uso picks up another win, and he is now representing California. And now we have the almighty Bobby Lashley going up against Vader to see who represents the state of Colorado. And Bobby Lashley advances and will be representing Colorado. And next we have Mr. McMahon versus Triple H for representation of Connecticut. And I forgot to add in the victory scene for this match, so you're just going to have to trust me when I tell you that Vince somehow pulled out a win for this. And next we have the most random match, the fictional slash parts unknown match, because a lot of people in WWE are from parts unknown, as is the Boogeyman and Doink the Clown. But this match is for control of Alaska. Here's Eric from Valhalla and the Hurricane from parts unknown. Then we have Ivar, also from Valhalla. Then we got Kane from the Pits of Hell. Tyler Breeze from Seasonal Residences. It doesn't say which state, it just says Seasonal Residences. And the Ultimate Warrior from Parts Unknown. And Eric wins, so he will be taking over Alaska to represent Valhalla. And here we are to see who represent Florida. Big E coming out first. The winner of this match will go on to face Dolph Ziggler. He has a bye. Next is Macho Man Randy Savage. Here we have MVP. Next, the bad guy Razor Ramon. Then we have the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, The Rock. The head of the table, your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. The $1 million man, Ted DiBiase. And lastly, Titus O'Neil. MVP picks up the win, so he's about to go face Dolph. Here we go, MVP versus Dolph Ziggler to see who will represent Florida. And Dolph picks up the win. Here we have another 8-man match. Winner of this match will go on to face Farouk to see who takes control of Georgia. First out, AJ Styles. Next up, Austin Theory, Big Boss Man, Brian Breaker, The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, Goldberg, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Xavier Woods. Jake picks up the win, so now we will be seeing him taking on Farouk. And Jake does it again and takes Georgia. And next we have Joaquin Wild fighting Montez Ford and Mustafa Ali for control of Illinois. And this match is going to have some highlights because there's some wild stuff that happened. Joaquin tries to roll through and just eats a drop kick and pays the favor back by taking on Mustafa with a kendo stick and winning the match. Carmelo Hayes is first out in the match for Massachusetts, and then here comes big match John Cena. Masay out here along with his former teammate in Retribution, T-Bar. who gets the win and advances for Massachusetts. Now on to the match for Mexico in first out Angel. Cruz del Toro making his way to the ring. Humberto out next. In the fourth minutes match, Santos Escobar. Angel picks up the win here and will represent Mexico. As you can see by that last clip, I had to play showcase to unlock Rob Van Dam. But next we have the match for Michigan. First out, Eric Bischoff. Next up, Kevin Nash. And Mr. Monday Night Rob Van Dam, who picks up the win and will represent my home state of Michigan. In the match for Minnesota, we have Brock Lesnar out here first. Chad Gable out next, along with Madcap Moss. And lastly, we have X-Pac. And with the win, Chad Gable will be representing Minnesota. We have only two people fighting for Missouri. One is the Viper, Randy Orton, and the other is Reggie. No surprises here, Randy Orton will be representing Missouri. For Nevada, we have Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Karrion Kross, Matt Riddle, and Solo Sikoa. Karrion Kross with the win here. Next up for New York, we have Damian Priest out first. Then we have John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL, and Shane McMahon looking to advance like his father, but Damian Priest gets the win. Next up, a triple threat for North Carolina. First out, Cameron Grimes. Then we have Cedric Alexander and R-Truth. Cedric makes it onto the map. Next up, a six-man match for Ohio. First out, Angelo Dawkins. Brutus Creed out next, along with Johnny Wrestler and Johnny Gargano. Then we have Julius Creed, Logan Paul, and Wesley. Johnny takes over Ohio. Next, we have Edge versus Robert Roode in an Iron Man match. And as Edge is making his entrance and coming down to the ring, he gets attacked from behind by Robert Roode, and the match starts. Robert going for the pin, Edge grabbing the ropes, the ref still counting, but Edge still manages to kick out. Then down 3 falls with a minute left. I thought it was over for Robert Roode, but he managed to get a 3 count right here. And Robert still on the attack. 30 seconds left. He hits his finish and he gets another 3 count. 15 seconds left. If Robert gets this, then he ends it. No, Edge reverses, and that will conceal the win for Edge, who advances for Ontario. Next, we have two lifelong friends fighting over Quebec. First out, Kevin Owens. And next up, Sami Zayn. And Kevin picks up the win as we go on to our next match for Texas. Booker T out first. And then we have Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat. Next up, Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. Then we have Stone Cold Steve Austin. And lastly, the Dead Man, the Phenom, the Undertaker. Stone Cold wins, but anybody could have won that in Texas would have been good. For Wisconsin, first out, we have Otis. Then we have Rick Boogs. Last but not least, Tommaso Ciampa, who wins the match. Next, for control of Pennsylvania, first out, Drew Gulak. And then we have Elias. And lastly, Kurt Angle. I played this match last because I needed Kurt Angle from Showcase and I didn't know how long it's going to take to get him, so I just played it on my main account because I already had him unlocked on there. Doesn't matter though because Gulak wins, and here's the look at the final map before we start the Imperialism. Alright, time for the first spin of the first round. Let's see who we get. Chad Gable. He will either be getting into a fight or getting a free state. He has to take on Tommaso. And lastly, we have to spin for the match type, and it will be a tables match. Nothing too interesting happened this match, but Chad Gable ends it with a German suplex to a table. And now we have to see if he'll get a buff or nerf. Since he got payback, we have to spin another wheel to see which payback he'll get. And Chad Gable takes Wisconsin. Second spin in the first round, Dexter Loomis. It's a whole lot of states on this, so it's a low chance of him fighting Bobby, and he gets Idaho. I forgot to record this wheel spin, but as you see, we got Randy Orton. And Randy Orton he'll be taking on Joaquin. The wheel bugged out a bit here, but we'll be fighting in a submission match. And as you can see, Randy Orton eager to get this match started, not even letting Joaquin get in the ring before he starts taunting. Joaquin gets hit with a looped-ass press, and he's bleeding now. Joaquin evading Randy Orton for a while, but he gets caught. Here comes the Hangman DDT. And somehow he's bleeding again. Randy drops him with a DDT. He kips up at the wrong time and gets caught with an RKO. And there's nothing left for him to do but tap out. Randy Orton wins the match. And Randy Orton will get +2 recovery and Illinois. Next up, T-Bar. And he will get Rhode Island. As you can see, I had to zoom in all the way to the pixels. Next spin, we have Mr. McMahon. And he's surrounded by Damien and T-Bar, so one of these two have to fight him with T-Bar. For the match type, we got Falls Count Anywhere. On the outside here, and for some reason, T-Bar puts his finger in Mr. McMahon's mouth on the chokeslam. Mr. McMahon, though, on the comeback. They're starting here. And he gets the win. So, Mr. McMahon takes Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and he gets +2 pin escape. Next up, we got LA Knight. He has 2 states and 2 fights, and he will get Delaware. I accidentally deleted Delaware and Maryland off the map, so I had to redraw them myself, and New Jersey was connected to New York, so I had to make a border for that myself also. But let's not worry about that. Let's just get to the next spin, which will be Kevin Owens. Only 2 fights here, and he manages to get one of them. They will be fighting in a table match. Kevin Owens gets absolutely obliterated by the steps, and he's now bleeding. That doesn't stop him from hitting the powerbomb and ending this match. He will get +2 recovery in the state of New York. Time to spin the wheel again, and we will get Johnny. He has a couple of options here, but he will get Indiana. And on to the next wheel spin, Drew Gulak. And let's see what he gets. It will be New Jersey. Another wheel spin here, and we have Jimmy, it looks like. He has a 50% chance of a fight, but he gets Oregon. We haven't had a match in a while. Let's see if that changes with Cedric Alexander. We are guaranteed a fight here, and his opponent will be Jerry Lawler. This will be a TLC match. Cedric trying to unhook the briefcase as Jerry gets into the ring, and he powerbombs him onto both ladders. Jerry hanging here, and Cedric repaying the favor. But Jerry, with the quick thinking, takes Cedric down again. And Jerry trying to unhook the briefcase. Would Cedric stop him? No, he won't. He just watches on. And Jerry will get +2 pin escape. And he expands Tennessee into North Carolina. The wheel just keeps spinning, and now we have Bret Hart. There's a couple provinces in Montana he is guaranteed land, and he will get Montana. Another spin, and we get Happy Corbin. He will get Nebraska. Next spin, RVD. Either Johnny Gargano or Chad Gable, and he gets Johnny. This will be a normal match. And we start off this match with Johnny diving through the ropes to take out RVD. RVD busting him open with that knee strike. Johnny Gargano going up top. Misses the frog splash and RVD catches him with a drop kick. Johnny with his signature DDT to the outside. RVD landing straight on his head. RVD with also his signature move, the leg drop. Johnny Gargano locks in the Gargano escape. RVD tap. He barely grabs the ropes. And Johnny here going for the pin. Is that it for RVD? Away from the ropes. It is. Johnny gets a payback. And that payback will be Poison Mist. And he also gets Michigan as the top of the country looking mighty blue. Here we have Edge, who will take on Kevin Owens in a backstage brawl. Nothing crazy happened this match. Edge dramatic onto the shovel. And then a spear, and that ends it. Along with Quebec and New York, Edge will get -2 of his finisher. And now we have Shelton Benjamin. He will be taking on Jake Roberts or Jerry Lawler, and it will be Jerry. They will be fighting in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Shelton will look for a suplex. He gets it. Jerry rolls out. Shelton with the dive taking out Jerry. Jerry throwing him into the barricade though, going for the pin on the outside. The ref, I don't know what the ref's doing. He's taking his time. Not even a 1 count. Shelton getting thrown out into the crowd now. Out here fighting in the crowd. Shelton, the flatliner. Is that it? It is. Shelton advances. Shelton will get +2 recovery as he looks to take over the South. We've been on a string of matches. Will we get another one here with Seth Rollins? What will he get here? He gets a fight with Happy Corbin, so we will. And they will be fighting in a Iron Man match. 2 minutes into the match, Seth with a Revolution knee. Happy Corbin rolls out. Seth catches him though. Seth dropping him onto the barricade and Corbin's bleeding. Elbow drop to the back by Seth. And a 3 count. Frog splash. Another cover. 2 falls to 0 for Seth. Curb stomp from the second rope. Will he get 3 here? He does. Happy Corbin on the attack now though. He's got Seth bleeding. That might have made Seth mad. He said, "Look at my face." He goes for another stomp. And he gets it. It might be over for Happy Corbin. I don't see him coming back from this. It's 4-0. Happy Corbin though. End of days. 1 minute 30 left. 4-1. Happy Corbin picking him right back up. And another one. He's trying to make a comeback. 2-4. 7 seconds left. This is over. Hit him with Dream Street. Goes for the cover, but it's too little too late. Seth with the win. And he gets -2 recovery. He gets 2 stays out of it though. We are right back to it with Jake Roberts and Dolph Ziggler. What type of match will they get? a submission match. These two fighting on the outside. Jake Roberts just stomping him in the face and he's bleeding. Dolph Ziggler hits the famous air, and now Jake is bleeding. Super kick by Dolph. They both go down. Dolph back up to his feet though. He's looking for another one. Another super kick lands and down goes Dolph once again. Here's the fans ask for one more time. He goes to the corner, tuning up the band for Sweet Chin music. Will he get it? He does. Picking Jake up again. Zigzag. Is he gonna end it now? Calling him up again. Dolph really wants to prove a point. Jake catches it. This might be bad on Dolph. Dolph might have just screwed himself over. Oh, he reverses the DDT. Maybe not. Maybe he had this all planned out. Oh, he missed the clothesline. Jake. DDT lands. Pulling Dolph towards the middle of the ring. He's taking a page out of Dolph's book here. Looking for one more DDT. He winds it up. And he gets it. Will that be the end? Submission locked in. And Dolph taps. That's it. For Jake's spin, he will get +2 recovery. And his next fight will most likely be Shelton as he takes Florida. Alright, and now we got Angel. And he will have to face Cactus Jack in a Hell in a Cell match. These two fighting outside the ring. Angel's bleeding. And he gets thrown into the cell. He's just knocking Cactus Jack in the face with the bat. Cactus with the clothesline takes him down. A mandible claw. Is that it for Angel? He might be out. Cactus Jack picks up the win. I forgot to record Cactus Jack taking Mexico, but he gets a payback and he gets run-in. The wheel is getting smaller for this first round. Only 6 people left. Steve Austin will get Cactus Jack again in a normal match. Austin off the top rope. Cactus is bleeding. We're going for a cover. Is this it? Kick out at 1. Another mandible claw. This is how he took out Angel. Will Steve go the same way? Oh, he's picking it back up. He's looking for the DDT. He gets it. Now Steve Austin's bleeding. Steve Austin with the Luthes press. He goes for the cover. That's a 3 count. Steve with the win. Steve will also get a payback, and that payback is Move Thief, along with New Mexico and Mexico. Here we go, 5 left. We got Ricochet. Next spin, Shelton Benjamin. And they will be having a table match. Shelton here with the DDT onto the apron. A Ricochet going for a dive and he completely misses. Shelton, oh my goodness, the Kamigoye. The T-bone slam into the table. It's over. Shelton with the win. He gets +2 pin escape. He takes Ricochet's Kentucky. Shelton might have the most area in terms of number of, but we have Karrion Kross here. And he will go against Jimmy Uso, fighting in a Backstage brawl. Cross line by Karrion. Picks him back up. And the Doomsday Saito closes out the match. Karrion gets -2 recovery. And he takes Jimmy Uso's territory. Small wheel here, and we have Eric with the even smaller wheel, only 2 spaces. He gets the Yukon. We got Batista and Bobby Lashley. Batista up first. What will he get? He gets Shelton Benjamin. They will be having a submission match. Shelton from the apron. Blockbuster. Takes out Batista. And Shelton with the forearm has Batista bleeding. He's on the attacks trying to preserve his area, but Batista with the Batista bomb. He might be going for a submission. He locks it in. And Shelton Benjamin taps just like that. Batista takes all his land with just 1 match. +2 recovery for Batista in all those southern states. And for our last spin, it's Bobby Lashley. And he gets Arizona. Alright, so this is how the map is looking at the end of round 1. I was just going to give everybody land that they completely surrounded with no opposition, but that was really just Edge over there at the top right. And the reason this is coming out just as round 1 is because it would have been like over an hour to get this all in one video, and I probably would have gave up with the editing of all that, so I just wanted to get round 1 out, so I would be forced to finish it, and the next video should be round 2 to the end.